All right. Here we go. Really, really important stuff. Our job is to write the point slope form of the line. Okay, you know what that is? What? I heard it.
Y minus y1.
Yep. That is the point slope form of the line. It's the easiest form to use. We love our point slope. We love this problem because we have what we need. We have a point and we have the slope. Plug it in. Y plus 2 equals 6, x minus 6. You okay with that? Done. Done. It says write the point slope form, and we have done that. So that is it. Now, what about the second problem? I'm on part 3. I'm ready for B. First thing, we have to find the slope. They didn't give it to us, so we're going to find the slope. How do we find slope again? We practiced this yesterday. So 17 minus 5 over 4 minus negative 2. So 12 over 6, 2. Now we're going to write the line, so now we need to pick a point. It does not matter which point you pick. Your answer will look different. It will be the same line, it will just look different. I'm going to use this one. 17 is a good number. Y minus 17 equals 2x minus 4. If you use the other point, it looks like y minus 5 equals 2x plus 2. Just to prove to you that these are the same, let's take my first answer here and let's get y by itself. So y minus 17 equals 2x minus 8, 2x plus 9. Let's do the same thing with my second answer. Y minus 5 equals 2x plus 4, y equals 2x plus 9. You see how they're the same? So either one of these is fine. Okay? Next. Now I want to write the equation of a line, point slope, parallel to this one and containing that point. What am I missing? The slope. I have a point, but I need the slope. Any thought on where I'm going to get the slope? Morgan? Any idea? Phone friend. Don't pick me, don't pick me. Does anybody know where can I get the slope out of here, Mr. Finn?
The y by itself.
So if this equation right here is in what we call standard form. If I get y by itself, okay, let's just do that. So 4y equals negative x plus 10. And y equals negative 1/4 x plus 5/2, 10/4. So I moved the x to the other side and then divided everything by 4. What is that called? This is standard form. What is this called? Y equals mx plus b. M, right there it is. This is your slope-intercept form. So if you're missing the slope, get y by itself. So now I know my slope is negative 1/4. Now my job is to write the equation of a line parallel. What do I know about parallel lines?
Same slope.
Same slope. So I'm going to use negative 1/4 and that point. So y plus 1 equals negative 1/4 x minus 1. Is this all coming back to you now? You kind of remember all this? All right, now I want to be perpendicular to this line and contain this point. So how shall I begin? Same way. I need slope. So I'll get y by itself. Be careful with your positives and negatives here, guys. This is what I got. How does that look? Does that look okay? So my slope is 1/3. If I were doing parallel, I'd use 1/3, but I'm not. I'm doing perpendicular. So opposite reciprocal. So I flip it and change the sign. So my slope is going to be -3/1. Y minus 7 equals -3, x plus 3. This is my slope. Now, this is so easy. Number 4, the directions have changed. We're still writing a line. We have -5/8 as our point, and our slope is 6. Now, I'll show you what I do, and then you can do whatever you want to do. As long as you end up with the right answer, it doesn't matter. I have limited brain space, so I'm going to do this. I'm not learning a new method. I'm going to do it exactly the same way. So I'm going to say y minus 8 equals 6, x plus 5. That literally takes 5 seconds. That would be the answer to the question if I wanted point slope. I want slope intercept. But we did that a minute ago. Slope intercept is that same equation, just get y by itself. So I don't need to do anything different. Y by itself. So y equals 6x plus 38, if I did my math correctly. Now, if you want to do it a different way, do it. Make sure that's what you come up with as your answer. But for me, this is just too easy not to do it this way. All right, now I'm going to write the slope intercept form, and I got these 2 points. So what do I do first? Now pick point. I picked that one, I picked that one. And it's not a race. Make sure you can get the right answer. Does anybody have a question about that? Okay, with your partner, I want you to try C and D. Try C and D. I don't care how you do it, but ultimately your answer has to look like this. This is what your final answer needs to look like, okay? Y equals mx plus b. Okay, guys. I got this for C. Did anybody match that one for C, problem C? Yeah. When you look at this equation, they gave you this one. This was in point slope form already. So couldn't I just tell the slope was right there? So since this one was parallel, right? Yeah, I just used 2/3 as my slope. Is that all right with everyone? You okay with that? All right, and then for D, I got this. Negative 2x plus 4, y equals negative 2x plus 4. I had to do a little work up here. I got y by itself, got a slope of 1/2, which meant my perpendicular slope was negative 2. And then this one. Good? All right, now we're going to do a few applied problems with our line. So let's go next page. Problem number 5. Yeah. I'm not sure. Oh, I know. This is problem 45 in the book. This is part 5. All right, problem 45. Real estate appreciation. Bob Michaels purchased a house 8 years ago for $42,000. This year, it was appraised at $67,500. A linear equation. Please do not get confused by the words. Linear equation simply means it's a line, and when they wrote it this way, you see that it's a line? Only their variables are not y and x, but v for the value and t for the time. Y equals mx plus b is basically what we've got. Now, determine the slope and the y-intercept. Now keep in mind that the original purchase price was $42,000. So the original value was $42,000. The ending value was 67.5, so these are the Y's. These are the Y values. Now, what are the X's? Think about that for a second. This was the original value. X, or T, is time. What was the time at the original value? 0. Times 0. That's when we started. Times 0. So 0 for 2,000. Now, what was the time when we got to 67.5? 8. The question says find M and D. Well, aren't they just asking you to find the slope and the y-intercept? And haven't we kind of been doing that with all this stuff? The difference is here, this is a word problem instead of just points. So what's our slope? 67.5 minus 42,000 over 8 minus 0. What did you get? 3187.5? Now there's something, you guys, I'm about ready to have heat stroke. Is that about right? Okay. What about B? How am I gonna find B? Well, could we write an equation and figure it out? You don't actually need to in this case. Think about your y-intercept. What do you know about, whatever this is, I know that the x has to be 0. And don't I have a point already where x is 0? So M is this, and B is 42,000. If you don't trust that you're gonna be able to figure that out, you could 100% do this process and get B. But B is always 0, comma. Y-intercept. Alright, we're not gonna do the graphic equation. Part C. Write and solve an equation algebraically to determine how many years after purchase this house will be worth $74,000. Okay. Do I have an equation? I have an M and B. Can I write an equation? B equals 3187.5 T plus 42,000. Y equals MX plus B. When will the house be worth 74,000? How will I use my equation to figure that out? Take this equation. What is the 74? What is the 74,000 value? So won't I just solve this equation? Won't that tell me when my house is worth that much? I got about 10.04 years. What about you? And then wouldn't question D be exactly the same thing, just with a different number? Yes, we're not gonna do that. All right, let's come down and look at number 46. Mary Ellen's gonna invest $18,000. She has 2 accounts. You don't need to draw this, I'm very visual, so I draw everything. So at $18,000, I'm gonna put part in this pot and part in that pot, okay? Now, what does it say? She is going to put X into the 5% container and the rest into the 8% container. Now, think about it. She has 18,000 altogether. If X is in this box, how much will be in this box? Oh, yeah, so good. 18,000 minus X. Think about it. Put numbers to it. If she put 12,000 here, what would be over here? 6,000. How did you do that? You took 18,000 minus 12. So this is 18,000 minus X. All right. Write an equation for the interest. This is part B. Write an equation for the interest. I skipped A. We'll talk about it in a minute. Let's do B. How do you find interest? Simple interest. Not those big hard compound interest formulas, but just simple interest. Remember? I equals PRT.
Oh, that's what I was going for. I don't know what the RT.
I equals PRT. What does the P stand for?
Price. Price.
Not price. The initial value. It stands for the principal. So if you walk down to the bank with $18,000, that's your principal. That's your P. R is the interest rate as a decimal, and then T is time. Okay? So it says she's going to have it in for 1 year. So our time is 1. So here we go. She is investing X dollars at 5% for 1 year. That's this investment. But she's also going to get interest over here. So that'll be 18,000 minus X times 0.08 for 1 year. So she's making interest on both accounts. We're going to add those together to find her total interest. Let's clean that equation up a little bit. Let's just make it look better because we're going to get used to it here in a minute. So let's have it look better. So 0.05x plus, don't let these ones confuse you, they're just ones. $14.40. Negative 0.03x plus 1440 is what I got. Please don't just blindly copy down. I know you're hot, I know you're hungry. We gotta get, come on, get focus. Anybody match that? Did I do that right? For real or you just not? Alright. Now, I skipped part A, and A was kind of important. What are the possible values of X? So remember, X is the money in this container. Could X be negative 92? No. Could X be 100?
No.
Could X be $1 million?
No. That's great.
What are the limitations on X?
It's
It has to
greater than or
be
equal to 0
positive.
and less than or equal to 18,000.
So this is the answer. X has to be between those two numbers because that's all the money I have. All right. Now, we are not going to follow directions. This graph and trace, we're not gonna do that. Estimate how much she invested at 5%, so in other words, find X if she earned $1,020 in total interest. Okay? How are we gonna do that? We're not gonna graph it on our calculator, we're gonna actually.
Put
do
1,020 for I.
exactly. We're just gonna put 1,020 into I and figure out what X is. So 1,020, that's how much interest she earned. So we'll just solve that equation. If I did the math right, I got 14,000.
Yep.
And that's this, that's X. So she invested $14,000 at 5% and $4,000 at 8%. All right, one more. 47, navigation. Commercial jet airplane climbs with a slope of 3/8. Alright, so drew a picture here. This is 3 and this is 8. The rise is 3 and the run is 8. How far in the horizontal direction will the airplane fly to reach an altitude of 12,000 feet? So the ratio of these two sides is 3 to 8. Would you agree with that slope, 3 to 8? I want it to be actually 12,000 high, and I want to know how far horizontally it has to go. Do you have an idea? Yeah.
12,000 divided by 3, and whatever that number is, you divide it by 3 times by 8.
So what he's saying is, I don't know if this occurred to the rest of you, but he says 12,000 over 3 has to be X over 8. He said a proportion. That's good. Okay, so 96,000. I got 32,000, but I don't know if that's right or not. Anybody have a different idea? That's perfect. That's actually 100% great. Anybody have a different idea? If this is the airport, that's like the origin. So this line would be y equals m plus b. And you could put 12,000 here and figure out X. Fran. Have a great rest of the day. I will see you tomorrow. Maybe Monday, sometime. I'll see you sometime.